Let's talk about it with us right now. Maybe tears or laughs out loud. Let's make a difference as we speak through conversation for our future and future generations. Let's talk about it.
Hey Ousters, welcome back to Oust Now Pod back with another episode with some fun stuff. Fun freaky?
Listen, let's hope. Hello. Because last time we thought it was going to be fun. Like that last episode, we was like, oh, this was going to be fun. Then we started reading, we was like,
If this was a plane, let me not show the brand because we ain't giving no free promo.
Nosedive.
Pretty much. But we committed. We powered through it, and we were like, "Well, we said, here he is. We're gonna do it," and we did it.
Kudos to us,
begrudgingly.
So hopefully, this one is gonna be a lot more fun.
Yeah,
it looks like it. From the short ones that I read, it seems like it's gonna be more on a positive note.
I hope so.
Measures they took just to be safe that ended up preventing something awful from happening later.
Thanks to BuzzFeed. They always come through with something interesting, and thank you so much because we really enjoy reading BuzzFeed, and they always have some really great things that we can always kind of come to that maybe on the not as serious side, which we appreciate.
I agree. I think we've gotten a quite a bit of funny, light content from them. The feeling watch thing. Remember, I told you I felt like somebody was watching the damn house, and sure enough,
it reads that way, but it's not. Like, this one's different. Like, you think initially that somebody's actually watching a rob them or something, and it's not.
My paranoia about a strange guy in a car kept my house from flooding. Girl, I'm ready for this one. I gotta see this. What does that got to do with your house flooding? I don't know, but we'll find out. Okay. We had a house fire in October of 2021. And we were bouncing back and forth between our house and a rental. Christmas Eve was extra cold, and our pipes were frozen in our house. I've definitely had that happen. The house was built in 1894. No insulation yet. Okay, so it's a really older house. Okay. So we decided to go to the rental for Christmas Eve. My wife and daughter were taking one car, and I was taking the other. When I left the house, I saw a man sitting in his car across the street, messing with his phone, giving the cold weather. It seemed odd. When my wife left, the man pulled his car across the street to the spot she just left. This is a one-way street. Okay, got it. Since I was further back, I watched for a bit, but he didn't do anything. He just got back on his phone. Eventually, my wife called and asked where I was because she didn't bring her keys for the rental. I drove over, let her in, and told her about the guy. She encouraged me to go back and point one of our security cameras in his direction just in case. When I get back, he is still there. So I go inside. Once I'm inside, oh my God, I've had something similar happen. Once I was inside, I hear water running. In the 30 minutes I was gone, the water started running again in the back kitchen where the fire had been. The faucet was still on and was flooding the room. I shut that off and went downstairs to check the cellar under the kitchen for leakage. In the cellar was a cracked copper pipe spraying water across the room. So I shut off the water and cleaned up the kitchen before the damage could cause permanent problems. When I left, the guy's car was still there, but he was gone. I think he was just meeting a neighbor for Christmas Eve dinner. But if he hadn't been there, the house would have flooded for who knows how long. Girl, I had something really similar happen. I almost set my whole house on fire. Honest to God, I really did. But it wasn't no paranoia. It was my car at the time. Did I ever tell you about that when I was trying to rush to a appointment? I was pregnant and I had that baby brain.
Mm-mm.
Girl, I so had baby brain and I had got up early and I was boiling me some eggs just so I could put something on my stomach. And I went, got dressed, got situated, got cute, got late because I was running late, you know. And I get to the van and the van doesn't crank. And I'm like, damn, 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 damn. But I knew what it was because I knew that I had an issue with the battery. And so I went in the house, in the kitchen to get my toolbox so I could go back out and tighten up the battery so the car would start. The eggs was still on. I had never turned them on. I had never turned them off.
Damn.
They was just boiling, water gone, bottom of the eggs smoking, and I'm like, had that car started, I would have set the whole rental property on fire.
Jeez. I can't think of a
Yeah.
time where I've just kind of left something on,
Um,
or
on.
I mean, I've had pipes break while we was installing that thing.
Oh yeah.
Nah.
I'm sorry. You can laugh
Oh,
now, but I know at the time you was like, some of my
look, we wanted a bidet, okay? We wanted a bidet, and we got one, and a burst.
and I remember is that the day that I had texted you and you was like, what'd you say? I gotta call you back, or I'll call you back, or
I didn't
I can't remember
remember.
what it was. I think I had tried to call you. I think is what it was.
It
I
might have
think.
been. It
And
might have been because we was like
you
back and
had
forth to Lowe's. Like,
you
this
had
is
such a
trash.
crappy day. It's like
Oh, oh
my poor
no! It
sis.
was the dishwasher. It was the dishwasher, and then
Then the toilet. God dang. When it
it was
rains, it
that
pours.
day. I was
Girl,
like, this is.
I'm
But
sorry.
anyway, I mean, that dishwasher was trash anyway because it was the second one we had from the same brand in 5 years. That says a lot. Don't ever buy Amana, people. Don't do it. It's trash.
Girl.
From my personal experience. Yes, trash. Okay. Anyway, yeah,
That part.
but I never left. I do remember having moments where it was like, did I leave the iron on? Hope that shit turns off because I'm on the train and I ain't turning back. I've had those
Girl.
moments, but irons turn them. They had like they turn themselves off after a while. Um,
Girl. Just the other week, the dang hot curlers. Not the
mhm.
other week. This was probably last month. Um, I could tell you when it was. It was right around the time I told you I chopped that bang and
Oh,
it didn't work out real well.
yeah.
Girl, had those hot curlers. And I had curled my hair the night before, I want to say, and then I got up and I think I just touched it up. I know I curled it the night before because I had burnt myself on the damn forehead. But that's beside the point. The point is, it was just not working well for me. But I left the hot curlers on and the flat iron, and I remember I was headed to work and I thought about it. I was like, I don't think I ever cut them off. And then I was thinking, oh yeah, it'd be okay. They'll they'll just eventually cut off. So then I was like, I don't think I cut them off. So then I called the house, called Anna, called Josh, and I was like, hey, y'all go in my room and see about those hot irons and curlers. And so then Anna's like, Ma, I can't get in your room. I had locked the door. So nobody couldn't get in. So then I was like, am I gonna turn around or I'm just gonna drive? And then something said, Janine, you better turn around. Sure enough, I get home and Joshua says, Ma, you smell it?
Jeez.
I said, yeah, I smell it. I had it sitting up against a plastic wrap, like something that was in a plastic wrap, and
Huh?
it was melting.
Good thing you turned
Girl,
around. You put locks
girl, I
on the
was like,
door.
and I remember thinking that too. I was like, man, I've left stuff on before and just went with it, but I'm sure enough happy I turned around because you could smell it. You could smell, that plastic smell, that chemically kind of a smell. Yeah. Girl.
Dang. The next one. I was scheduled for a mammogram when I got to 50. Somehow it didn't work out that year because the appointment was in Bavaria, but I live in Dusseldorf and I always thought it was not that important. Oof. But a year later, they sent me the invitation again. I scheduled a mammogram in Bavaria. Then, as I was visiting my parents anyway, I thought, well, they probably aren't going to find anything, but if I have cancer and didn't have that mammography, I'm going to regret it. I expected a letter telling me that they had found nothing, but in fact, they did find something that needed further investigation. It turned out to be a slow growing breast cancer. 1 year earlier, it would not have been there. 1 year earlier would not have been there yet. Whoa. And 1 year later, it would have been much larger and possibly needed chemo as well as surgery. But as it was, they could just cut it out and that was that. Wow.
Wow.
Whew.
Wow.
I didn't have anything similar to that exactly. But you ever had those? I had this moment when this is over 10 years ago where I was signing up for insurance plans. Yeah, I think back to that moment every time and I'm like, why the fuck you ain't just go with your gut? So it was like time for like open enrollment. And I was like, they were like, pick the high plan or the low plan. And I was like, the high plan is more upfront, right? So, but it's lower on the back end. So if you actually need to use your health benefits, then you're paying less out of pocket on the back end. But my salary was trash. I had like $40 a week type at the end of the day after everything was paid type scenario.
Mhm.
So I was kind of like, okay, well, let me go with the low plan because that's what I can afford and I'll have some health insurance. I'm healthy. But there was this little thing of moment like, maybe you should just go with the high plan. And my gut was like, go with the high plan. I was like, my budget says low plan. So I went with what my logical brain said. And then fast forward, they found a lump. And then other things happened all around that time. And I was like, shit, I guess I should have went with that fucking high plan anyway. And
Hey.
thank God it wasn't, it was removed, not cancerous or whatever, and it was fine. But there was like a bunch of different medical things that happened in one thing. And I was like, go with that fucking high plan next time.
Lesson learned.
Very, very true.
Right?
Very, very true.
Okay, so number 3. This is actually fun. I actually like this. Is okay. This is positive. Right? You don't think so? Yeah? Girl, you
I
okay?
read it.
I'm so sorry.
I was trying to swallow. I was trying to.
I'm so
to read
sorry.
at
I'm
the same
sorry.
time.
I'm over here trying to choke you. I'm so sorry. That's not I'm so sorry. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I know which one. I know which one it is now. Yes, it absolutely is.
Okay. I once was asked if I could give someone a ride home from a local convenience store. Normally, I would say no, but I decided to be nice that day. They were a lady. They were a lady. They okay.
I think that they wrote it wrong, and if it
I
don't make
think
sense,
so.
because the sentence don't.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it in a way that makes sense to me, not exactly the way it's written right here. So, it was a lady in her mid-30s. Oh, it was 2. Okay. It was a lady in her mid-30s or early 40s. Oh, it was just one person. I thought it was gonna say another person. Oh, I'm so sorry. Girl, I'm gonna get it together. Scratch that. Okay. It was a lady in her mid-30s or early 40s. So I figured it wasn't that big of a deal. For whatever reason, I subconsciously mentioned that I wasn't able to buy what I went into the store for because I forgot my wallet at home. The person said, "You don't have your wallet on you?" I'm sorry. Red flag.
That's true. Like, why you need to know if I got my wallet?
Hey,
Because
you worry about my wallet. I said, "Nah." They looked a little concerned and a few moments later said they could walk to their destination just fine. I thought it was weird, but I didn't think too hard about it. The next day, god dang, the next day, it was on the news that an armed robbery took place in the exact location she asked me to take her to and gave a description that 100% matched the person I was going to take home. I didn't really save myself as I had nothing to steal, but an interesting story. Wow.
they would have went home sad that day. But no, they were gonna use them. I mean, it's like they were gonna rob him and use him as a getaway driver at the same time.
My gosh, that's crazy.
That's
That's
bonkers.
crazy. That's
That's
crazy.
real.
The next one I think is funny. I think this one is funny.
Oh yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
for some reason I felt that I was being watched. So I closed all the blinds and let the dog out the back door instead of walking him. My dog found the creep in my backyard and dragged him by the pant leg out of a bush, thrashing him around. Based on the video, the dog got at least 4 good bites in. Dang. Should have been peeping in somebody's window.
What you back there doing? Busted. Sometimes when you have them funny feelings, girl, you better go listen, pay attention. What was that book that you told me about that you said I should read?
Oh, yeah. Gavin DeBecker. I forget the name of it. I just know the author right now. Gavin DeBecker. Gavin
Something
DeBecker.
of fear.
The Gift of Fear.
The gift of fear. That's it.
Mhm.
That's it. The gift of fear. That's it. Okay. As a manager, I noticed my team was getting saddled with harder work than the other teams. I informed my boss, but she laughed at me and sent me packing. Since we tracked employee productivity by cases worked, I had a feeling I'd need some kind of proof in the future. So I went back to my team, explained the situation, and informed them I wanted them to keep daily logs of all of their cases and timestamp them, even though the system did this automatically. Fast forward 2 years later. Man, they was doing that gym for 2 years. I'm sorry. I'm being a little judgmental just now. Um, Another manager believes his employees are getting harder cases than the other teams. So he complains, but he complained about it to his boss. His rapport with her is significant as he works the same shift. So she looked into it. Side eye. So why you ain't looking into it when I said it? Anyway, okay, she said she would look into it. After a 3-day secret investigation, I get one of the most aggressive and hateful emails of my career, accusing me of cherry picking millions of cases over years of work for my team. My response my response was to hand her daily logs from every employee for 2 years. 11,000 sheets of paper, give or take. The absolute incredulous look she gave me was worth it alone. What's this? That's 100% accurate daily logs of every employee and their cases worked. Why do you have this? To protect them from you when you inevitably did this. This is ridiculous. There's no need for them to waste time keeping these logs. There wasn't until today. Feel free to check them. Oh, I will. 3 days later, I got my apology. It turns out an employee was coming in early and scanning in my employees' paperwork and tossing their cover sheets, so there was no record that they had done any of the difficult work.
Dang.
What?
That's
After running numbers, it was determined that the other manager was incorrect. The evidence showed that my team worked roughly 34% of difficult cases and accounted for 15% of the total workforce. The day shift employees all got into trouble for passing off hard cases. The day I got to tell my team their logs literally saved all of our jobs was one of the best days at work ever.
I bet. Jeez.
Wow. Document, 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 document. That's crazy.
And the fact that she's like, yeah, something don't feel right. That's 11,000 pages of, that's a long time to be so diligent about it. I
But
just
thank
can't
God,
imagine.
thank God I did it.
Let's see. So, oof. Oh, this is kind of sucky. So I got life insurance on my husband during open enrollment, and we joked, haha, I'll be a rich widow, haha. We were totally joking because we had never had any policies on either of us. He got sick, and passed away 2 months later. The money saved my butt. I tell everyone to get life insurance. It is so important. Agreed.
That's
Uh,
sad.
yeah.
Oh, condolences.
Hmm.
I was coming home from sledding when I was 6 years old. Just my dad and I were in the old Ford Explorer. Before we left the park, We had an argument about wearing my seatbelt. I think it was because I was bundled up and chunky and did not want the added oh sensory discomfort of being strapped into the passenger seat. Dad won and I wore the seatbelt. He forgot to put his on. I don't think I'm gonna like this one. Oh, about a mile from home, our humble farmhouse, he went decently slow because the roads were slick. He hit ice and spun out anyway. We ran right into a tree. We ran right into a tree line through a barbed wire fence
Jeez.
and smacked into a tree head on pretty hard. Because my dad was not wearing his seatbelt, he ended up on my side of the car, head smashed into the windshield, blood everywhere. Luckily, an older couple were driving down our relatively quiet country road and stopped to help. They drove my poor little traumatized self down the road to our house and took my dad to the ER. He was thankfully fine, thank God.
Mm,
He just
mhm.
needed some stitches and maybe had a mild concussion. I think my dad still had glass coming out from his scalp like 5 years after that, though. Glad he was a persistent, good father who made me put my seatbelt on.
Thank God.
Really serious.
I'm glad he was okay, but phew, little
Wow.
girl or little boy, put your seatbelt
Right?
on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's sad. But at least it's not as bad as what I thought it was going to be. Because at first I was like, oh, God,
But
dang.
oh
I
man,
don't want to read
another.
this. Let's skip this one. Next, please. Okay.
That was more of good news. Okay, so it's aligned
Yeah.
with what we were hoping to be here.
Right.
About 20 years ago, I almost stopped to help a stranded motorist. I saw a highway patrol. I should say car. Okay. I saw a highway patrol behind me and knew he would stop. That night on the news, I saw that he did stop, and a shootout ensued after the officer noticed the ignition wire had been pulled from the distributor. The stranded motorist wasn't as my brain was going faster than my mouth. The stranded motorist was an escaped prisoner looking for another car to steal. What? My brain was like,
Girl.
yo,
Wow. That's crazy.
thank God you didn't stop.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay.
About to get taken.
You was going to help all right. A little bit more than you thought.
Jeez.
Okay. I run a reptile and exotic animal rescue in South Texas. We are having very cold weather. I drove out to the rescue to check on everyone one more time. Even though I'd been out there many times today, the heat had stopped working. We ended up having to move all the reptiles to my house. They would have died. It's crowded as F, but everyone is alive. The 90-pound tortoise in my living room is probably going to F some stuff up, but he's alive.
Jeez.
Okay.
90. That's bigger than my
Wow.
dog.
Wow. That's big. That's a big. That's big.
In
Girl,
your living room?
I don't think I think my youngest kid is not even 90 pounds at this point yet.
Jeez. Our dog is 85 pounds. He fluctuates. Sometimes he goes on a no
And
food
he
diet.
ain't little.
No, he's not. Every time we board him, he comes back so skinny. I'm like, oh no. Oh, yeah, poor thing. Okay. I randomly went with my friend to buy her new car. I just needed to get out the house. Girl, yes. I convinced her to buy Gap insurance because it was cheap. And I wish I had gotten it for peace of mind. Her car got stolen, and instead of being stuck with the loan, the insurance paid out after 30 days or whatever, and she got another car. Had that happen. Get Gap insurance. Get Gap insurance.
Absolutely get Gap insurance.
100. Just get it. Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Uh,
Okay. Wow. I believe, girl. Well, that's the side of the point. Okay. I helped a victim of human trafficking get to a shelter. I was a medical student at the time, and the city the city my school was in was a hub for human trafficking. I noticed a patient in the ER who had a pretty bad injury to her face and was with a sketchy looking guy who had not who was not related to her. She wasn't my patient, but I brought my gut feeling up to her doctor, who then made up some excuse to talk to the patient alone and got her to help. I never talked to her myself, but I couldn't shake the vibe I got from looking at her and the man she was with. Sometimes you got to go with your gut.
mm-hmm.
Amen. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
for sticking to your gut, because I think sometimes we have a feeling about stuff and we do not take it in, and
Mm.
we should. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see. So I slept with the bedroom door open the other day. We almost never do that. And honestly, it was because I wanted to be able to hear for some reason. I smelled gas at midnight. It turned out my daughter had turned the stove knob just a touch before going to bed 5 hours earlier. Ooh, that was a scary one. Oh yeah.
Been there. That's why I got those knobs on the I went on
Okay.
Amazon and got those safety knobs
Mm-hmm.
because I had one of my kids do that before. It's a really scary feeling. You're like, "You smell gas? I smell gas. I smell gas." And sure enough, it was on. Okay. I brought a generator 15 years ago because a hurricane was forecasted. I drove 3 hours to get it, but didn't lose power that month. My hubby rolled his eyes. 2 months later, the October storm hit, dumped 20 inches of snow. The state lost power, and we lost power for 13 days. We had the wood stove and the generator, well, some light, a stove, and a fridge. Happy she drove them hours for that.
Okay.
Trying to tell you, it came in handy.
Thank
Someone told
you.
me that since I'm a homeowner, that I probably should have a generator. I still have yet to purchase one,
I mean, they're expensive.
but I'm not.
Uh,
But
Those jokers ain't cheap.
he was
They
like,
are
"Oh,
not.
you need a generator," and I was like, "Yeah, but my pocket says."
My budget. They not cheap. Like, I don't know.
True.
It's something you gotta save for and get to. Because we had we have a generator, and we got lucky because it was like I had gotten some sort of bonus. Had I gotten a bonus? It was around tax. Was it around tax season? Something happened that we had a little extra, and it was it was during hurricane season, and oh my gosh, like we just knew there was something that said, hey, because I forget which hurricane it was, but like a tree fell on my sister-in-law's house. So we ended up having like we had a house full of, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven of eight people with no power and a tree on someone else's house. So it was kind of like, okay, we're gonna need this generator. And we ended up being without power for about 4 or 5 days, and it did come in handy. But I had gotten some, I think it was some sort of bonus or payout. So I was like, well, I guess if now is the time, now is the time. And it just kind of really worked out. But something got to plan for because it wasn't cheap at the time. Or did I charge it? I might have charged it. But we've had it for years and we haven't had to use that shit since.
Well, it's good to have it. You just never know.
Mhm.
So it's good to have it.
Um,
Um, oh, it's me, isn't it?
I don't even remember.
Closing the
Yeah, go for
curtains.
it.
No, that's you.
Oh, it's
Closing the
me?
curtains.
Okay.
Mm.
Um, closing you know why it looks like the one from before, the lady who felt like she was being watched. Okay. Closing the curtains. I'm sitting in my living room watching Frasier, and I can't explain it, but I get this overwhelming feeling to close the curtains. I'm thinking to myself, I've lost it, and it's probably nothing. It nagged me the rest of the episode, so I closed them. It turns out that there was a guy who would look into people's windows to see if they lived alone. Oh my, well, he would then SA and rob them. He hit my next door. Ooh, he hit my next door neighbor at the time. So I guess he got the next door neighbor. Girl, good thing you closed your windows. One night I was wait, say what? He hit my next door neighbor at the same time. That sounds like he got the next door neighbor. Okay. One night I was sound asleep and dreaming. I was hanging out at a party or whatever. And suddenly all the people in the room turned to me and just urgently and repeatedly told me to close the blinds. Oh my gosh. I usually close them all as the sun goes down, but in my room, mine were open and my windows were open a tiny bit. So I woke up, locked the window, and closed the blinds. Oh my gosh. A dude had been looking for, ooh, let's give me the creeps. I'm sorry. Give me the creeps.
Oh.
Uh, I'm sorry. A dude had been looking for women alone and ended up breaking into a house down the road from me. Oh, ah.
Wow.
Ugh.
Sick.
Yeah.
Wow. Nurse here. Per usual, I was being overworked. I had over 9 patients in the ER. One patient had cancer and hadn't been feeling well. The doctor insisted he was fine. However, just to be safe, I continued to regularly check in on him as he was chilling in a chair in the hallway. He started complaining of feeling super tired and off. His daughter, who also was a doctor, kind of said something along the lines of, "You've had a stressful day, Dad. We will get you home once the doctor discharges you." Just to cover my ass, I took his vitals. His blood pressure was 70 over 40. I had a critical care room open, and immediately rolled him in there, calling out to the doctor that something was wrong. I could just feel it. The charge nurse got mad when I told her he needed that room. She didn't like that I was a traveling nurse calling the shots, but I didn't care. The doctor felt I was overreacting, but they repeated my vitals and did a stat scan. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's stat scan. The guy was bleeding internally. I can't remember the full details now. and they found metastasis to his spinal cord. We were able to stabilize and ship him to a bigger hospital. The irritated ER doctor thanked me later and said if that guy went home, he most likely would have died that night. It felt really good, all because I listened to my patient and my gut and didn't let stress of over 9 patients cloud my judgment.
Hmm. Go on, girl.
That's girl, you know what I'm about to say, ain't it? I've experienced that.
Trust your gut, nurses. Even if the doctors be like, "Oh, I know more than you."
But I had a good doctor. Remember that doctor? He was like, "Well, regardless, we're gonna make sure."
Mm-hmm.
And thank God, cause amen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see. A classmate and I swapped clinical days for my sister's wedding. I emailed my professor and clinical instructor about the swap, and they both replied that it was fine. Then they forgot, and I didn't answer my phone that day because I was up to my ears in last minute centerpieces. I was notified that it would count as an unexcused absence, which would have required me to repeat that semester. Trash. So I forwarded the original acknowledgments of the swap to my professor, clinical instructor, and dean of students. Suddenly, it wasn't a problem anymore. I bet. I bet.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
okay. My son had graduated college and then decided to follow his girlfriend to a small town where she got her dream job. It was a small town and a good job, and good jobs were hard to come by. So almost a year went by with him only working part-time jobs. He had hit the age where we could not have him on our medical insurance anymore. I was concerned about this and started looking into options and told him to apply to our state low income medical. For once, he listened and thanked God every day because not a month after being approved, he started having leg pains. The first two trips to the doctor, they wrote it off as a pulled muscle. But the third time they ordered tests to find out he had a blood clot that stretched from his
Damn.
lower calf up to his abdomen. Oh. They placed him right into the hospital, but remember, small town. They did not have the expertise to take care of this 50-mile ambulance ride to a bigger hospital, lots of tests to find out why, and a total of oh, $120,000 in charges, which had to pay, which he had to pay less than $20. Maybe I should try that insurance.
This must have been a long time ago. You probably can't even get state insurance these days.
Okay, he is good now, but it did damage the vein in his leg, and he had pain from it and will have to be on blood thinners the rest of his life.
Mm-mm. $20, 120, 120,000. Whoa. Yeah.
So I
You,
feel like if you've had any similar stories, why don't you email them to Ouse so we don't have to read these articles? We can just read y'all stuff, all of our Ousters stories. Not saying that these were not good because they really were, in all honesty. Um, but yeah, Any similar stories, send them in.
Yeah.
Any story ideas, send them in. And if you go to ousenow.com, you can see the form to fill out to be a guest.
Yeah.
Go fill it out.
I think really the good part about this article is like, hey, trust your gut. If something don't feel right, even if you're wrong, just fucking be wrong.
That part.
But 9 times out of 10, you're gonna find that you might be right. There's stuff that I wouldn't share, but like I knew when my ex was cheating on me. Did I have proof? No, but I knew it. I knew it. Did I know I was about to be fired? Hell yeah, I knew I was about to be fired. I knew it, even though they tried denying. I was like, and then I got fired. I knew when someone was trying to be manipulative, and I was like, okay, so here we are with this shit. Fuck. I didn't think we was gonna have to go down this road, but here we are. Like, I know. And that is really not, if you're trusting your gut, then you'll get the sense like, okay, I don't know what this is. So just trust your gut, even if you're wrong. Right. Just fucking be wrong. That's it. Shit.
That's what I agree. Trust that feeling that you have, because that's why you have it, for your protection.
Just saying. Like, I can always tell when someone's being, I don't know. I wouldn't even go down that road. But like, I can tell when someone's trying to like be, what's the word? Who's trying to be mean girl, but I'd be like, whatever, you can't do that to me because I don't give a shit.
Don't care.
Like, all right.
I've dealt with it all my life. Like, who cares?
And then you might get a lick back when you fucking least expect it. It'll be like,
always get my lick back.
So like it's kind of, and not even intentionally. It just be kind of like, you want to be petty, you want to be mean, you want to be an asshole. Go ahead, but that's between you and God to kind of reconcile. But Teflon, baby.
That part.
But trust your gut. I think it's a great article, and this is something we have talked about before. I think we might have done, not this in particular, but that book, Gavin de Becker, is a real, it's a must read, and it's going to scare the pants off you. I know it because it scared the pants off me, but it's a great lesson in learning how to protect yourself. Like, there's, like, I always say this, like, if anything, if I ever hit the big one and become a lotto winner, I'm telling you, there's 2 people, and something ever happens to me, 2 people you're going to look at. I kid you not.
Sorry.
That's real. That one and that one. Those 2.
You know what? It's funny, but it's not even funny. It's not.
True. That's why. It's a funny thing to say, but if I ever win the lotto and something happened to me, those are the 2.
And if I ever come up missing, and I ain't even got to win no lottery.
Okay. But great article. Thank you, BuzzFeed. We always appreciate you. And our fans, we always, always, always appreciate you. So thank you so much for sticking with us. Stay tuned for next week.
Please and thank you. Thank you so much. As always, time is something that you can't get back. And the fact that you spent it with us, it means the world to us. Have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you are.
Let's talk about it with us right now. Maybe tears or laughs out loud. Let's make a difference as we speak through conversation for our future and future generations. Let's talk about it all. Let's talk about it Let's talk about it.